We are back for another year of football. The Saints start the era of Derek Carr. LSU is loaded and should be tuned up under second-year coach Brian Kelly. Nicholls State is looking to get back on top with Coach Tim Rebow at the helm. The high school teams are eager and ready. Our crew is also back. Our very own Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert. Well, he's offering in-depth analysis and game strategies. Former All-Pro Rich Maudy brings his candid talk back for another year. Mike Detillier will offer his great insight to the sports world each and every week. Harry McCullough will showcase a special guest of the week. Our high school expert Stan Gravois. He'll be on hand to discuss high school football standings. Chuck Bork takes over the question of the day this year as he puts his stellar law practice on hold for just 5 minutes. And our weekly Stay to Play raffle will reward a lucky winner. This year, our naming sponsors will be part of the show. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford & Associates, for all of your insurance needs. St. Martin & Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Some perennial corporate sponsors are also on hand. South Louisiana Bank is better when we bank together. Terrebonne General Health System, Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank. And from Lafourche Parish, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Now, from the Eugene and Lorraine Falls studios in Houma, Louisiana, buckle up your chin straps. It's time for Sports on the Bayou.
Welcome back to another season of Sports on the Bayou. Mike Detillier along with the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, Rich Maudy. We got a lot to talk about today, but before we go to our commercial break, we want to say special wishes to Miss Lorraine. She's had some health issues, but we're thinking about you, praying for you, and can't wait for you to be back in studio. So we'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford & Associates, for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin & Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. When we come back, Saints Talk. You won't want to miss this. Don't go away.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin & Bork today.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Alford team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering health care to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
Sports on the Bayou is also brought to you by our corporate sponsors. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank. And from Lafourche Parish, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Mike Detillier, Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, Rich Maudy. Guys, 16-15. We've talked about this on Sports Talk for the last couple of weeks. This would be an old-fashioned fist fight but with the Titans, the physical football team. And this is something in the past, Rich, the Saints have not matched up well. If it's been the Ravens or some of the other real physical teams, they haven't matched up well. Got to find a way to win, and they found a way to win Sunday.
Well, let me tell you what, when you get a defense like that,
it shuts down a guy like Henry that, I mean, he had run for 63 yards. It looked like he was running all over the place. Then it seemed like he was just
the first half
he was. In the first, and then, so, I mean, if he runs for 100 yards, they lose that game by a touchdown, or maybe even more. But the defense they're exactly what everyone's kind of underground, under their breath, been saying. This defense is pretty darn good. And when you shut that team out, no touchdowns, 3 turnovers, I mean, the defensive backfield, phenomenal. I just think the defense won that game. It gave Derek Carr a chance to kind of get the rust off a little bit. Not that he was rusty, but to get to know his players a little bit. And the other thing I want to make on offense, my favorite thing to see out there was Michael Thomas running around. Even though he didn't have a tremendous impact, I think you're going to see him do this if he stays healthy.
Well, he did have an impact.
He did have an impact early.
Hey, let me tell you right now, this is a good sign. Now, some fantasy people get ticked off like, oh, we got to get the ball to Taysom Hill more and all that.
They will.
You know, what about Jawan Johnson? And they get all mad. But you look at Derek Carr, how he spread the wealth amongst the receiving core. What about Alvin Kamara? Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Michael Thomas was the offense. He completed 70% of his passes. 23 of 33 for 305 yards, and they were the reason why that they were targeted and they caught the ball, and therefore Derek Carr had success. But you know, it might be an ugly win, but ugly win. They all count. Look, the Cowgirls won 40-0 against the Giants. They're 1-0, and the Saints in the teens. What is?
Bobby's having a hard time getting over that one.
No. The Dallas is good. Dallas got a good defense. It's 16-15. They all count the same. We won't even remember in November what happened. Oh, we should, if we hold every opponent in the teens, we might go undefeated. or we should. If they're not scoring more than 20 points, I think our defense is that good. Shame on our offense if we don't take care of business.
And unsung Blake Groupie, 3 field goals in his first game as a kicker in the NFL.
52-yarder.
And poor Lutz misses a field goal and an extra point and the field goal. That looked like a pretty good trade deal.
Yeah,
we'll go to the highlights of the Saints win over the Tennessee Titans. And in the first play, you would figure, Rashid Shaheed going downfield and gets the ball pulled out. They went to review with this, and the Titans get set up in really good field position. But they only gave up a field goal, bend but don't break. And then Zach Bowen comes up with the big block of the punt. Now, again, they said it was a 1-yard punt, but come on, it was a block on that deal.
That's like a turnover, and again, being on the plus side in a turnover margin, that is critical. We +1 starting this season. That block punt, we almost like +2. That's what Dennis Allen would say.
And you can see with Tannehill on almost every throw, he had people around him. This little tip pass, Isaac Yiadom tips it out to Marcus May, gets an interception. And then Derek Carr with the big play, throwing it downfield. And what a game Chris Olave has. But this is the long one by Groupie. And he just made it, but it all counts.
Right down the middle. Well, the thing is he kicks it straight, so that's what counts.
Yeah, right. And then the big interception again. Paulson Adebo. And then Derek Carr with a little pump fake, throws it downfield. Touchdown, Saints, Rashid Shaheed. And then, again, when they needed a play late, Derek Carr hits Rashid Shaheed, and it sort of seals the game. And Bobby, you always talk about this, the best play in football.
I'll tell you, as fans, you might want to see Paul. You hit a game-winning touchdown to win. But I'm telling you, when you can relax in the huddle and you call it win the game play, when you have the lead, and then you know what? You don't give. The defense loves you. The Dome Patrol used to love me. If you go where they don't have to go back on the field and we're going to win the game, you run a 4-minute offense. Or 5-minute, it might be you get 2 or 3 first downs in a row. If you do that, then all of a sudden, no, they can't win because they don't have the ball.
Victory huddle. Yeah. You tell the fans out there, what do they talk about? What's the quarterback come in and say in the victory huddle?
No,
he's not calling a play, right?
No, you fist pumping, and we all know what's up, and then you kind of congratulating one another. Job well done. You know, whether it's a pass play that you complete or a rushing attempt like we did at them, because we couldn't run the ball throughout the game. Right. We couldn't run in the preseason. That's still an issue. Our offensive line is not very good. No, it's just been a lot of...
And neither the Titans' offensive line and the Jets' offensive line.
There's a lot of offensive lines that are not getting it done. And, I kind of said this, and, I'm a Dan Campbell fan with the Lions. I mean, who hates the Lions, unless you're from Chicago or Green Bay or something? But the Lions' offensive line, now that's an offensive line. I guarantee right now, if we had that line, I know for sure we'd be in the playoffs. Yeah.
Guys,
the Lions are that good.
One of the issues last year was inability to get turnovers. You got 3 in this game, 3 interceptions. Last year, it took them to week 13 to get 3 interceptions. You had 7 interceptions all season long. To get 3 in the first game, that has been a point of interest for Dennis Allen and the defense with Joe Woods. We got to get turnovers, and man, Tannehill, he was shook up in that game. Bob and I in the press box, like, he was real shaky.
He looked like a rookie.
Yeah, he did. We thought that defense was going to be that defense last year. Remember, there was high hopes coming into and they never really.
It took them half a season.
No, the defense.
Took them a while to get going.
Since the Raiders game on, no, we had one of the best defenses in the NFL. What we didn't do was take away the football.
Yep.
Now, if you take away the football, that's the key. Absolutely. You get 1 extra possession. Now, if we have a mistake, Derek Carr, he was kicking himself when he had that interception, but then you got to get 2 back. You got to stay on that plus side. Right. Because if you look going into the Titans game, there's a reason why we both were like 7-10. Now, we were worse. We were -11. They were -3. I'm telling you, some simple number like that. You say, hey, Bear, that's all you always talk about, that, the turnover margin. I'm telling you, it is that close. Do you protect the football and do you take it away? I guarantee if we +1 against Carolina, for sure +2 we're going to win. If we +1, we have a great chance to win on Monday Night Football.
You're talking about 1 and 3 point games. How many games were won by 1 point, 2 points, 3 points? I mean, it's
that type of league today, and especially early when. Okay, you haven't played, you can say preseason. Them guys ain't playing in preseason. So it's really a start. The concern, certainly offensive line. And in the first half, Arden Key could have literally went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame with
going
the game.
Against Trevor Penning.
Going up against. Now, this week, when they play Monday night, Brian Burns, who's one of the elite pass rushers in the game.
No way Trevor Penning can block him. I can tell you right now, he cannot. No, but you can't help out all the time. Whether you chip him with the back or you help him with the tight end, you can't like all of a sudden you have held the whole game. You got to pick and choose when you do that.
We'll be back with more sports on the Bayou.
When we come back, who's in the crowd?
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. And Martin, I'll throw it to you. And again, thank you for having us for another season here on Sports on the Bayou. And man, you got almost undressed over there. You're sitting down. You got.
Well, I'm chilling. I wanted to see what the view was like way back here. And I'm surrounded by law enforcement. I got Percy, I got fire, and if anybody sneaks up in the back, I got Harry to protect me. So
the Hall of Fame,
right.
The Hall of Famer.
Hey, look,
HOF, baby. You can sign on the check.
I can't hear that for him. Sorry. We got a good crowd. All right, let's go to our name and sponsors again this year. Can we give it up for Rouse's? We got Tim Acosta and his crew. Yeah. Tim's going to be Harry's guest today. We're going to learn a little more the intricacies of how do you become a naming sponsor for the Saints. Tim's going to talk with Harry about that. All right, let's move on down. Priscilla's got her gang ready to go. Alford and Associates. They do a great job for this community. Y'all give them a big hand. Another naming sponsor. All right. Now look, Chuck's been around St. Martin and Bourke. Chuck's got his own segment this year, and it's not What's Up, Chuck. It's What's Up, Chuck. We got to put the emphasis on the right word. I don't want Chuck suing me over that, right, Chuck?
Yeah, well, we're not going to be talking about TCU right now. I know that.
Well, we'll get to that later. All right. We have some corporate sponsors. How about Cody Gray and his crew? And Cody's going to have his own little show coming up here on HTV and Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, so we're looking forward to that. And then right next to them, look at this table, Terrebonne General. Stan's going to have, of course, his segment coming up, and he's going to introduce Terrebonne High School. What a motley crew there. They're looking sharp, ready to go. All right, good deal. We're going to have that. And then a perennial power. You know, Lester Beamer will never miss a free meal. It's just not going to happen.
Not anymore, right, Les?
Yeah, he's got a good crew. Yeah, we'll meet them in a little bit. And then right next to them, y'all give it up for South Louisiana Bank. They're in the house counting your money today. Y'all have y'all raffle tickets? Everybody, all right, just check. Boy, they're so subdued as bankers, huh? I wonder if they ever just get up and just start jumping up and clapping. Okay? Not when they handle your money, right? All right, right next to them, Terrebonne Churches United. Y'all give them a big round of applause. They do a great job in the community. And I know, Bobby, you recognize a face on that table, right?
Yeah, Spud. Hey, Spud's in the house. You know,
in the house.
So Spud, he's a real thespian, a real actor. So you know,
yeah, he's been in a few movies for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's keep on going. We got a powerhouse table back there. We have the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Gordon Dove. He's done a tremendous, he just brought another $250 million into the parish for dredging and all, but y'all give them a big round of applause for what they've done for water control here in the area. All right, let's move on. We have GIS Engineering. That's a big old table today. And Terry, you enjoyed the game the other day? You enjoyed the Saints game?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Did you go?
No, I didn't.
All right, I'm just checking. All right, so GIS with us all?
Well,
I didn't go either.
Looking at GIS, boy, I got high school, I got family members, I got Mitch in the house, I got my Uncle Rodney.
Yeah. And you got CIS sitting at the table just in case. But the best thing they did, they brought Katie.
You know what we should do? Let's raise hands for anyone that's not related to Bobby. Raise your hand.
Very good point.
You got it all.
Yeah,
and like I said, we got Jason with Jason. Raise your hand back there. Jason's a perennial power here at the show. All right, right next to them we have Tita. Y'all give it up for Tita. They do a great job here in the parish of promoting our parish. Catherine's got a gang here today. And then we're going to come to the next table here. And look at the coaches here, the legends here, and they're sitting with the fire department. Let's give the legends and the fire department a big round of applause today. And then, of course,
hey, and you know, Martin, especially you look at the fire department, and this needs to be recognized year in and year out. 9/11.
Yep.
And the sacrifices, and you know, whether it's north, south, east, west, across the country, that you got to really appreciate firemen and what they do for us. You don't maybe you take them for granted until you really need them. And so
yeah, we had a big special on HTV yesterday, but they also been putting out a lot of wildfires in the drought. So
yeah, we're not in California. What the hell's up with that? You know it's dry everywhere. Yeah. It's like, what? We got all these wildfires, brush fires, especially by DeRidder and all that. And
right here, I know.
Here, but it's been all over. I don't think we've ever. I don't remember ever dealing with that.
All right, let's do this. As we go to the break, let's save the biggest applause for all fire, law enforcement, veterans. Let's start clapping for them as we go to the break. We'll be right back.
Don't go away. Harry McCullough coming up shortly with his sports feature of the week.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
You gotta try this. And some of those. Ooh, and definitely that. You won't be disappointed, but just know you can only get it here. Up and down Louisiana's Cajun Bayou in Lafourche Parish. Y'all come visit. We're just 35 miles south of New Orleans. Hungry? Let's eat!
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Alford and Associates. For all of your insurance needs, Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, and St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back to more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, and I'm going to throw it to the HOFer himself, Harry McCullough.
That's
Harry,
right.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Man, proud of you, and you got a special guest in Mr. Tim Acosta.
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate it.
You bet. Good stuff.
First of all, Tim, thanks so much for being with us. You're going to be our first guest for this year. Marketing director for Rouse's Supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
So you just opened up store 85, I guess.
85, right.
Which is
it's
amazing.
Rouse's
when you
number
think
85.
about that.
It replaced Rouse's number 6. So, but it's in the same location where, ironically, where Mr. Rouse opened up his very first grocery store way back in 1960. Right there in the same corner of where the store is currently, and which was C Rose at the time. So right. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's amazing. When you think about this company, I got it started in 23. I was looking up as a produce company.
Yep.
And in 1960, which is the year we were all born, was the year that they started. So 63 years.
That's correct. Yeah, we also celebrate 100 years of our city produce. That's how Mr. Rouse's father got started, in the produce business, and Mr. Rouse worked with. For his father for many, many, many years, and they were buying all the local produce from all the farmers in Chack Bay and Shreveport and so forth, and shipping them around the country. They had a packing shed in Thibodaux. And then, when the oil fields started, picking up in the 50s and all that, him and his cousin looked at each other and they said, we got to do something else, because they were losing a lot of the field laborers going into the oil field for more money, obviously. And that's when he took a chance and just decided to open up his first grocery store. It's like a 7,000, 8,000 square foot store right there where the new store is today. Right. So pretty much, and and now here we are. We're operating, I think it's like 63 stores total right now, and we currently have 4 more stores that's on slate to open up here next year.
Right,
so
7,000 employees, so one of the
over
bigger
7,000, correct.
Employers in our area. So let's talk about your official supermarket of the Saints. What goes into that? Obviously I know what starts it.
Right.
You got to get some money.
Well, first of all, you got to do some negotiations with them and all that, and then but anyway, it's great. It's great for all of our customers. I think the Saints and Rouse's is a great fit. They have a fan base following along the whole Gulf Coast, and we have stores located all the way from Lake Charles, Louisiana, out in Southwest, all the way to Orange Beach, Alabama. So between the Mobile, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach area, we have stores along the Mississippi Gulf Coast, with 2 more stores that we're going to be opening up in Mississippi next year, one in Biloxi and one in Picayune. And of course, coming through, Slidell, the North Shore, New Orleans, West Bank, Houma, Thibodaux area, and then all the way to Baton Rouge, Lafayette. So so it's great for us. It's great for the Saints. It's great for our customers all along the Gulf Coast.
So you go from a local, and supermarkets are very, local, personal thing, to more of a regional. We're almost nationwide now.
Yeah, we're national because we go across 3 states. So it's a national company.
Right. So how important is that to stay local like that, to do a Saints thing, to maybe do, I don't know if you're in the NIL, but to make it a local like Nichols and LSU and even high school, to make sure that's all part of your community?
Local is always been in our DNA, and that's one of Donnie's famous lines is, either local or you're not. We're from here. We continue to support our local communities here and throughout all of our areas. We work with additional, we work with some other universities, Nichols State here, McNeese out in Southwest Louisiana. And then we work with all the various schools, high schools throughout our area too. So, but yeah, no, and
You're not doing Alabama, are you?
no, not the Crimson. They called us though. No. They called us. They said,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're not in partnership with them, but they did call. We have spoken to them, but. No, but it's just great, great for the customer. That's what it's really about, and with our sponsorship and partnership with the Saints, we allow our customers to have chances, like for instance, kids can register the Kickoff Kid. It's one of our sponsored events where a local, child, they can get a chance to beat a T-retriever,
right.
So they
instead of a dog.
Right, right. So they hang out on the sideline. It's a great experience for them. We have a fan tunnel run where some customers get a chance. They can go out in the field when the Saints are running on. A lot of great experience for people who wouldn't normally have that chance to experience it. For them to get
now
a chance
Tim,
to do that.
did you come up with running through the tunnel? Because I'll tell you, what I can recall and remember, there's no feeling, because you never get that feeling again when you come out with the fans in the dome and you're running through that tunnel.
Right.
Or you're being introduced, whatever, and you do that. I'm telling you, I get goosebumps when I think about that. Because no, you never forget that, because in the real world that don't happen.
Yeah.
So
no, it's been
I think we could do it here, though, if we line everybody up, Bobby.
All right.
They're going to run through the tunnel.
Recreate it.
Well, that's Tim McConnell. Thanks for being a part
All right,
of our
Harry,
show.
thank you, man. Glad to be here.
All right, guys.
All right, we'll be back with more sports on the Bayou.
Right after the break, LSU talk. Whoa, stick around. It's getting good.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford & Associates, for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back with more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. 72-10. Tigers took it to Grambling, but in the first quarter, man, Miles Crawley, he was really good. He picked LSU apart throwing the ball. They adjusted.
Yeah, and everybody's ready to fire. Come on. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, Coach House was taking some heat.
Well,
but there was adjustments
Yeah.
made, and LSU's offense was clicking. I mean, you couldn't really ask them to play as well as they had under Jaden Daniels. And I'm telling you, they have found themselves their number one back in Logan Diggs. Young kid from Archbishop Rummel, goes to Notre Dame, and then transfers to LSU. And Caleb Jackson, the freshman. And we had people saying, Mike, he's going to redshirt. Redshirt? He ain't even going to look at a red shirt. No, if he's not the best back, he's the second best back on LSU's team. That's nothing against Emory, Josh Williams,
my
Kane.
Penn State boy.
None of those
Kane,
guys.
Well, yeah, they can all be, but you still need a bell cow. To me, you look at Logan Diggs, 106 yards, 13 carries. That's your bell cow back that you could trust every down. Not that other backs don't have opportunities, but you still have to have that go-to back. And Mike, like you were saying, though, at the beginning of the game, I mean, Miles Crawley, I mean, okay, I'm concerned with this. Maybe not as much as some fans might be, but considering how we ended the game, but how we started it, it was almost like it was the second half or the latter part of the Florida State game. Mike, Grambling had 259 first half yards. I'm like, wasn't that 59? 259. No, I was kind of discouraged when that occurred. But, like, you know, people would be like, oh, whether you like Jane Daniels or not. Jane Daniels scored on all 6 of his first half possessions, career high, 5 touchdowns, passes. So, listen, the Saints got the right quarterback. LSU got the right quarterback right now. It's a team game. You might give them too much credit or too much critique, but I can tell you right now that you look at LSU going to Mississippi State, and you look at the SEC as a whole. Right now, the SEC is like down. LSU can run the table. You might say, well, what are you talking about? Look at Auburn and Florida. That's not the Auburn of Florida in the past. Look even Alabama, how they lost to Texas. Look at Texas A&M. Mike, they got it put to them by Miami and Florida. So I'm thinking it's not far-fetched that LSU could run the table. I don't know if they're going to do that, but it's not like, oh, it'd be a great bounce back from Florida State. No, the schedule is very favorable for LSU like it is for the Saints.
Guys, one of the things that we'll go to the highlights next is not only secondary issues, again, 5 drop passes in this game by your wideouts. Come on, you got to catch the ball. Rich, you see these guys, they are wide open, they high school open and dropping passes.
I'd be yelling at Rich, come on, Rich,
do
catch
too
the
much
ball.
again. They're trying to score before they catch it.
Jaden Daniels throws it downfield, gets a touchdown to Brian Thomas. And, man, LSU gets on the scoreboard quick, but Miles Crawley comes right back. And, man, this is a great pitch and catch combination. Throws it to J.R. Waters for the touchdown. And then Jaden back to pass. He's got protection. Throws it downfield to the speedster, Chris Hilton Jr. for the score.
I'm still worried about
some injuries.
But LSU's secondary is about like the Saints' offensive line.
And then Malik Neighbors on the little jet sweep gets it in for a score. Oh, I guess they call it a pass because the way he flipped it. And then Jaden downfield again, over the middle, touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. again for the score. It didn't stop there. Jaden Daniels out in the flat to Thibodeau's own, Kyron Lacey. He comes up with the catch and the score. And, Bobby, they got under center. I thought about you here. It's one of the first times you see LSU get under center.
I'm telling you, if you got the ball on the 1-yard line, why do you go backwards to go forward? First and goal, the 4-yard line. Run freaking 4 quarterback sneaks. Whatever.
That's like running a sweep on the goal line.
Okay,
right?
I'm going to go backwards to go forward. That's ridiculous.
Then Caleb Jackson goes in for the score, and it just kept pouring on points. Grambling's defense really at this point is all wore out. And then again, a touchdown for a guy who went to Penn State but ends up now at LSU. Noah Kane goes in for the score. And then this is it. 0 time left, 72-10. This week, an early morning game, 11 o'clock. They play Mississippi State, and it's a different state team than we've seen in the past.
They're running the ball more,
They're running
Mike.
the ball a little bit more. One thing with Mike Leach, God bless him. I mean, he was as character as a character can be. But he didn't like to run the football. He would much rather throw it 60 times than run it 15. That's just was his philosophy.
Well, and they have one of the most, if you look top 3 quarterbacks, you'd have to say Will Rogers. You look at Jaden Daniels, Mike, who's coming back? So who would it be? Like Jaden Daniels, Will Rogers, who would be like the third guy?
Maybe Spencer Rattler from South Carolina?
Yes, so you look at, like, I'm telling you, that's why the SEC, I think, is down overall because of quarterback play and who you can lean upon. But no, LSU, what they 8.5, 10
8.5 to 9.
Yeah,
9.5,
somewhere around there.
Listen,
the bottom line, LSU should win this game. I don't know if they're going to crush Mississippi State, but that's about right. Don't you think that's about right? Touchdown, a touchdown,
but you know,
field
these
goal?
games have been strange against Mississippi State. We've seen LSU get off to big leads, and then it dwindles down, comes down to the last possession. We've seen State jump out to big leads, and then LSU does it. It's been some really crazy games, and not necessarily talent for talent, because LSU has dominated this series, really has, but they haven't dominated them on the scoreboard.
Yeah, then the thing is, you look at like what studs are going to step up, and you always look at the linebacker position where we're at. Mississippi State linebackers can hang.
They got a lot of them in the NFL too.
And the way they have a nose for the football, so no, it's going to be a challenge. It's an SEC game, but LSU should be able to take care of business. I'll be interested to see if Tennessee can handle
sports on the Bayou.
Right after a short break, Stan Gravois in his Prep Football Roundup.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
At South Louisiana Bank, we're great at banking, but we're great at a lot of other stuff too.
Is that a new rod and reel?
Hey, a girl's got a fish. We care about the community we live in and the people we serve. We're not just like you. We are you.
Are you boiling crawfish?
No, just letting them soak.
We're proud to be here and work for the place and the people we love. South Louisiana Bank. It's in the name.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our weekly look at high school football. Each week we're going to look at who did what on a given Friday and Thursday night, and we'll look forward to who's going to be playing that next Thursday and Friday night. We're through 2 weeks of high school football. Let's take a look at how our local schools are doing. In week 2 of high school football, it was South Lafourche hosting Thibodaux High. Thibodaux takes the lead here on a nice catch by Kyron False in the end zone from his quarterback Braden Becknell. But on the ensuing possession, Carson Ogeron finds Camden Berg for a big gain of 28 yards. Tarpon scores. As a matter of fact, they take the lead at halftime, but Thibodaux comes back strong in the second half. This 73-yard run by Dominique Blanchard. Then it's another Becknell to False pass for a TD, this one 49 yards. And finally, late in the game, Cohen Giroux scores on this 9-yard run as Thibodaux runs away from South Lafourche. Final score from Galliano, South Lafourche 21, Thibodaux 31. On the campus of Nickel State, it was the battle of our smaller classification schools on Friday night. CCA taking on Houma Christian. CCA scores first on this 29-yard scramble by quarterback Collar Robichaud. And after the Lions build up a 14-0 lead, this 80-yard run by number 13 Joseph Landry of Houma Christian gets the Warriors right back in it. CCA built up a 27-7 lead. This last score as Caleb Hebert hauls in a nice pass down to the 1-yard line. And then doing the honors for the Lions, Landon Winslow. There was no quit in Houma Christian. Joseph Landry scores 3 times. They mount a furious rally, but they come up just short. Final score, Covenant Christian 27, Houma Christian 20. In other scores from around the area, Terrebonne goes down to a tough Kennedy team. McDonough 35 runs away from South Terrebonne. E.D. White scores 52 for the second week in a row. They win easily. H.L. Bourgeois picks up win number 1. Ellender, in a low-scoring affair, loses to Country Day on Saturday night. Assumption beats a good St. Helena team. Vanderbilt bounces back after a tough loss last week to take care of Central Lafourche. Central Catholic goes down to Abbeville. And Morgan City comes back to earth against Jeanerette. An early look at records by districts. Destrehan and East St. John undefeated in District 7 5A. H.L. Bourgeois, Thibodaux, Terrebonne, all with 1 loss, and Hornville and Central Lafourche still winless. All teams in 7-5A play in the same playoff bracket. Probably a little too early to start looking at power rankings, but those all the way to the right are accurate. In 7-4A, Assumption is the only undefeated team, although you'll notice that Lutcher actually has a higher PowerPoint ranking. And remember, as it stands now, and it depends on a lot of rulings in the courts, it looks like Vanderbilt is going to play in the Select Division II bracket, with South Lafourche and South Terrebonne playing in the non-Select Division I bracket, although the rest of that district plays in the non-Select Division II bracket. Yeah, sort of confusing, right? In District 8-3A, E.D. White, the only undefeated team, of course, they play in a different bracket than the rest of the teams. They play in Select Division II, whereas the rest of that league plays in Division III non-Select. In District 9-2A, everybody has at least 1 loss, except for Cohen, who ironically has opted out of playing for a district championship or for the Louisiana playoff bracket. And District 7-1A seems to be a strong one, with 5 teams who are 2-0 in the early season.
We're going to do that every week, take a look at the high schools, and I would say that this week there are 2 big rival games in the area. Assumption coming in to play E.D. White. Both teams are undefeated, and you have Ellender playing H.L. Bourgeois. That game going to be on Friday night at Tom B. Smith. But Terrebonne playing at Tom B. Smith also. They're going to be playing on Thursday night at Tom B. Smith. We're very fortunate to have and to feature Terrebonne High School tonight. I have Richard Starr with me, principal of Terrebonne High School. We're going to go around the table and introduce everybody there, and I'm going to let him do some bragging on these people as we go around the table. First, Kiawana Holly and Lainey Gravois, the volleyball coaches there at Terrebonne High School. Richard, tell us a little bit about volleyball, because off to a really good start.
Yes, they are. They're currently 11-3. They played this afternoon against East Ascension. Coach Holly came in as a new head coach and did a lot over the summer to revitalize the volleyball area at Terrebonne. We're very proud of what she's done so far.
Very good. And then we have, sitting at the end of the table, Tyler Lewis. Tyler is the head coach of Terrebonne High School's football team. A big win in week 1, tough one in week 2, but a good Kennedy team, right?
Yeah, as you said, it was a tough Kennedy team in your package. They're currently the 3rd place, I believe, right now in power rankings in Division 2, if I'm not mistaken. We got Lakeshore this week on Thursday, which will also be a challenge. But Coach Lewis has done a good job over the summer with his program, taking the team through 7-on-7 camps to LSU and a couple other big schools around the area and out of state as well.
And obviously, Terrebonne boasts that proud heritage of those LSU guys, Mason Smith and now Bill Yacht, who's going to be there in a couple of years. And Todd Mano is with us too. Cross country. A lot of people sort of forget about cross country in the fall, but a good cross country program, right?
Yeah, they do a good job. They're running this Saturday morning at Pelche Park in Thibodaux, so it'll be their 3rd meet of the year. They hope for a really good outcome this meet.
And we cannot forget the guy who heads it all up, your athletic director. You got to start thinking of nice things to say about him. You got Scott Gautreaux, who heads it all up for you.
Yeah, Coach Gautreaux does a really good job for us, keeping everybody straight, keeping me straight, working with LHSA and all that good thing. So good job, Coach Gautreaux.
And I'll end it by saying this too. Richard worked in the LSU athletic department. He worked with Jeff Boss, who a lot of people know as one of the great equipment managers of all time on college level. And Scott's daughter just finished her eligibility in volleyball at LSU last year, so a little tie there into all of that. With all of that being said, again, each week we're going to feature a different high school. We'll have another one next week. Now we'll go to a break. We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou right after this.
Don't fall asleep when we come back from the break. Chuck Bork with his What's Up, Chuck segment.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
The new generation of Hondas are here at Barker Honda.
The all-new Accord, head of its class, miles ahead.
All new 2023 HRV and CRV.
And Pilot, built for every driving need. Family favorite Odyssey has all new trim levels.
Go everywhere with Passport. And the award-winning Civic.
The generation for every generation. And always remember, it's better at Barker.
Sports on the Bayou is also brought to you by our corporate sponsors. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank. And from Lafourche Parish, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on our Sports on the Bayou segment, and it's What's Up, Chuck? So, Chuck, thanks so much for joining us. I got that right. I didn't mess it up. So.
Chuck's in the house. You put the emphasis after the up, so we're good. There's a comma there. It's not a dash between the up and the Chuck.
I figured
at least not this week.
Yeah, this week. So, what's big for you, Chuck? What you want to ask us?
So, again, I'm at the Saints game, and everybody who's a big Saints fan can remember no interference call.
This is ridiculous.
The last, it's the only thing going through my mind when we're in the second to last drive, Olavi's open, the pass is right on, no call made, and everybody around us saying, oh my God, they're going to get the ball, drive back down, and we're going to lose this game. Now, it didn't turn out that way, but I want to ask you, Bobby, what do you think happened there? Or we're looking at
the referee just screwed up. I mean, come on, it's interference. I mean, it could be if that was our defender against Titans receiver. No, you have to call that. That's interference. The bottom line is like the Nolan no call. It's like almost like a nightmare to kick off the season. So no, it's just you got to get it right. And then Titans fans might bring up, what about Derek Carr?
They brought up Derek Carr, and that was the next question I was going to ask you, because when you're reading some of the stuff out there on it right now, the Titans fans are like, well, it doesn't really matter because they had the call no call or overturned, said it wasn't a fumble. And I'll ask you to that, because I've looked at some of the film on that, and it appears that it probably was arm going forward.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to look at it. Okay, your arm's going forward. How are they going to call that? A lot of times, okay, this is a football. Imagine it's a football. Okay, and I'm throwing it, and I'm getting hit. It's so close. I mean, it's like, bam, it's like a tenth of a second, whatever. And if you going and you still have the ball right here, and then you following through, and then they're going to call that an incompletion. Now, let's say the ball gets knocked out of your hand, and then you push it like you're following through. That's a fumble. So how they do it, I think, if they would have called a fumble on the field,
it would have stayed a fumble.
They're not going to overrule it. But since they call it incomplete, they're not going to overrule that. It was truly that close. And I'm not being a homer on this, I'm telling you. But Mike, I was sitting right by you, and I said, no, I'm telling you, look at the ball when they try to freeze frame, and they go more and more. The ball was still within his possession as he was following through. So it was a forward pass, incomplete.
You know what?
It's that close. It is literally that close. What they call on the field when they go overrule.
You think about instant replay, it's got to be evidence that proves that call was wrong. You look at that play, you can look at it 10 times, and it's five times the other way. So you got to go with the call on the field.
Okay, now, there's no call on the field. Now, I don't know if we ever get to this because the TV networks don't want you to slow down the game. They want the game to last around 3 hours instead of 3.5 hours. If you look at it, if you truly slow it down, freeze frame, how fast things happen, and you just freeze it. That interference was so obvious because where his hands are and where the ball's at, well, that's freaking interference.
The hand is on the collar and the ball's still 3 feet.
Exactly. So that's even like a margin of error that you got to get that right. You cannot miss that. Like the Nolan no call. How could you not get that right?
The only maybe
you look where his hands are. Look, the ball's not even in the frame.
But the only potential explanation is where's the ref? The ref's out of position, maybe.
No, he's out of position, but that could cost you the game.
That, though.
Yeah, you got to get that right, especially Saints fans. You got to be freaking kidding me.
They had a lot of
ready to have a damn
they
right.
had a lot of flashbacks going on.
Yeah, I was like, what? What is that? Is that referee from California or something?
They're making some pretty bad toes, but
he's from Nashville. I mean, he's doing doing the Saints game, and he's from Tennessee.
And now with gambling, you don't know where they're from, but you don't know where their money's at.
Yeah, no,
that's a huge issue. They got to be careful about making sure the refs are doing. You don't want the refs to get in a position where they're tit for tat. Oh, we blew that call. We got to give them a little.
You got to get it right.
You got to get it right.
There's too much money involved. You got to get it right.
Somebody did bring that up. Does it matter that we're playing this in a stadium that's named after Caesars?
Oh, 5 years ago they wouldn't touch the Vegas name.
Now they with them knee-deep.
A few years ago, you would never even have professional teams in Las Vegas. Now the Oakland A's, Major League Baseball,
and basketball's
the NBA,
next.
It's going to be everything. Everybody's going to be in Las Vegas.
On the Bayou.
Don't fall asleep now, because when we come back, I'll give away an award to someone who's in the audience on my Stay to Play segment.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bork today.
Give where you live. The Terrebonne Church's United Food Bank.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. And St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back to more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, and it's our State of Play segment. Martin, I'll throw it to you.
Well, this was designed to keep everybody sitting in their seats, and by the look of it, nobody has left yet, right? Steve Ponville is still sitting at his seat right here.
Win a big prize.
Incredible.
So what's the prize, Martin?
The prize.
A new car! Oh, no, that's the other show.
Each
Never mind.
week it's going to be something different. Now, Gardy said, next week, I want Copeland's to be involved. I said, okay, and we're going to talk to Tim with Rouse's. They're going to do it, too. But dinner for 4 at El Paso.
Wow.
That's going to be the winner. $100 gift certificate. So everybody is in the hamper. Bobby, you going to spin it?
I'm spinning it.
And Rich is going to pull it.
It's like yeah, I'm going to pull it. Bobby's going to spin it, and I'm going to pull it.
Rich is going to pull it.
That's a quote. That's a quote from Martin.
That sounds a little shady.
I feel like I'm churning butter when I was a little kid, making homemade ice cream.
You know why Rich is pulling it? Because I don't want the blame.
Whatever Bobby wants. If he wants me to pull it, I'll pull it. I'm a good guy.
That is true.
Oh, they fell out.
Okay, now just reach in there.
All right, here we go. Blue tickets. Pull out your blue. No, they're the yellow tickets. Just see if you're paying attention. All right, 595, which is probably all of them. 119.
That's me.
119.
Who is it?
Spud, no, wait, we got a wiener. We got a wiener. I got to tell you, that's the quiet. There you go.
Hey, like you don't get enough publicity on the South Louisiana Bank commercial.
That's the quietest you guys have been all day. The energy in this room has been phenomenal. It's good stuff.
Come on up.
Check his number, though. You never know today. Everyone wants to cheat.
Yeah, because you could just say, what's the number? Winner here. They just go get the prize and doing it.
You got 118.
119.
You got 118. Just kidding.
You only give him 10 for 2. That's a good deal. It worked, Mark.
So next week, Gardy's part owner of Copeland's. You know that, right? So, Gardy, we're going to have a gift card from Copeland's next week? Well, that's the way to get a yes in front of everybody.
Just a little bit of pressure, right?
Can we get a Honda for week 3?
I thought that's what we were giving away.
Tim, can we get an oil change? Can we get part ownership of oil change?
At least give an oil change. Come on. Yeah, but he can give an oil change, Martin.
Yeah, we can do that.
Come on.
We'll work that out. All right, Mike.
All right. We'll be back to finish it up here on Sports on the Bayou.
Coming up, a look at next week's game.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Terrebonne General Health System is the largest healthcare resource in Southeast Louisiana, offering a high-tech and high-touch style of healing. World-renowned services include cardiology, women's health, cancer care, and a healthy lifestyle center.
This is a true calling for all the physicians, nurses, and staff who make up our proud Terrebonne General family. We are here to provide health care for our community.
To discover more, please visit tghealthsystem.com.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Guys, we're finishing up here on Sports on the Bayou. It's a Monday night game, doubleheader Monday night game, but the Saints, Carolina, going up against a rookie quarterback.
Come on,
you got to take care of business. to me, in this game, Saints defense wins it again. I like the Saints over Carolina.
Couple of sacks. Yep.
Yeah, Mike, and again, we're going to be in a lot of games. You got to get used to this Who Dat Nation. It's not going to be the Saints are going to be really favored or not. It's going to be like either we a 3-point favorite or we a 3-point underdog. Or it's going to be like 1.5, 3 points. Right now, Mike, I think we're like 2.5, 3-point favorite at Carolina. But you got to give the rookie the business. He did not necessarily have success against Atlanta. And people said, hey, Bear, I knew it. Why are you cheering for Atlanta? No, because we play Atlanta down the road. I want Carolina to not have as much confidence when we go into that game, and that being the quarterback with Bryce Young.
Man, Jesse Bates could go into the Hall of Fame for what he did.
And the one thing, you know, it's all about matchups. Who's healthy, who's not healthy. J.C. Horn, Joe Horn's son, who's the stud cornerback for Carolina. Oh, my ham.
So he's out about a month?
No, my hamstring. No, it's about a month. It's like now, I remember old school, we used to talk about hamstrings, and the older players would always get on the young players. Whenever you're dealing with a hamstring too long, they'd be like, come on, man, you got to play, dude. How long you been baking that ham? You don't even have it in the freaking oven. I mean, you got to come back and play. Man, we've been cooking that long enough.
Hey, you know what I think? The Saints are built to win the close games this year. They've got a great kicker. They have special teams. They're blocking punts. And that's how they're going to win their games. Offensively, we'll get a shine here and there. But I think they're built to win those close games. So I like it.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. First show off and running. Miss Lorraine, we thinking about you all the time. We'll be back next week with another version of Sports on the Bayou.
Who dat? We'll see you next week on Sports on the Bayou.